Butter, and our special dedicated to all things Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the new land at Disneyland and the largest expansion of the park in the park's history. 14 acres, about $1 billion to create this thing, and it is glorious. You can access it through Critter Country, Frontierland, or Fantasyland. Fantasyland? There's a Millennium Falcon right here. You can reach out and touch the Millennium Falcon. You practically can imagine a Wookiee up there. Where's Chewbacca? Where's Han Solo? Ah, Han Solo. I had a chance to sit down with Harrison Ford to talk about this movie and beyond. More importantly, I remember the time a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away where he talked about how much he loved my show. Take a look.
I'm Harrison Ford. Join me at Mark at the Movies, which is a piece of shit.
That's you.
That's me.
Oh my
12,
God.
I had North America's largest Star Wars collection.
Oh my goodness.
It was quickly dwarfed, but at the time.
I just liked the movie a lot. I thought the technical effects in it were real good.
Love that guy. Nobody does it better. But you know who came very close? Alden Ehrenreich. That is your solo, Han Solo.
It's Han, but that's okay.
I had a chance not only to sit down and talk to him about it, but also to give him his merch for the very first time. Watch him unbox it. Talk about the day. What was going through your mind the day that you screen tested with a Wookiee next to you? As I point to Darth Vader, but I'm saying the height is appropriate.
He's a lot taller than I would have thought, and you see that in the movies, but when you get there, it was lunchtime, and I was kind of jet lagged, and then he showed up, and it was just, that was where it got really surreal. And I had to learn to do Shriwook for my audition, you know, his language, like, that thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, did you, come on, break up another set, give me a little more.
Yeah.
Now, are you so deeply embedded that you know what you just said?
No, I can't say that.
Okay.
But we did in the movie work out what sounds meant what and figured out the whole language.
All right, it would be a great honor if I did Wookiee speak with you. Just pretend like we're having a conversation.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's kind of like a dry gargle, which is weird.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. As a kid, did you have Star Wars toys?
I had a green lightsaber. I had all the action figures. I had like a little thing of the where Luke and Darth have the fight. Yeah, I had all the toys.
If only they made merchandise with you.
I know. It's a shame they're not doing any for this.
Some overachieving journalist happened to pick one up on his way over to talk to you. How weird is that to be walking through a store? Like, you're just going to get toothpaste. You walk through a store and you're staring back at you on the shelf.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Last night I was watching TV at the hotel and there was a commercial for like cereal boxes of it, and that's where I was like, oh, this is really like, you know, when I was a kid and I'd see some, you know, superhero movie or something with that. So, yeah.
Do you own a U?
My mom has one for my nieces and nephews, yeah, but we got to get more of those actually.
Well, I know they're probably, maybe you know someone, maybe you don't, but I would like to present you.
Thank you.
With you.
Wow, this is really my first one, so I appreciate it. Wow.
I promised I wasn't going to cry. May the Fourth be with you.
Thank you.
Talk about the best unboxing ever. The man himself. Do you mind if I feature you unboxing you?
Please, go for it. Yeah.
This is your first Han Solo doll?
That's right. Action figure.
See? Are you okay with the likeness? Did they do a good job?
I guess so. I think that's based on, my grandma was telling me I should try to get a piece of the money for the toys.
Right?
Explaining it's not going to happen.
Is it funny when your grandmother jumps in and starts talking to you about the value of merchandising?
Yes, that's right. They do a 3D scan. So when you're shooting the movie, you stand in this room. Mm-hmm. There's like 500 cameras or something. They all take a picture of you. So technically, I think that's what they base these on. Right. What do I do with it once I guess I could play with it?
I don't know. If only I had a dime.
Right.
You're taking your gun out?
Yeah.
All right.
Man, make these hard to open.
When you were a kid, were you more of the 12-inch version or the
No,
little
I
mini
had
action figures?
I had the littler ones, yeah.
Which
I
one?
I had some of these, but...
Which one had the most wear and tear?
I don't remember what this company was called, but I had like a bunch of just army guys. Wow.
Can I get a side by side?
There we go. Yeah. Yeah.
That is so dope. Awesome. That guy is awesome. And I love the action in Solo directed by Ron Howard. You can tell when he did Rush, a lot of what he learned in that went into the chase sequences of this movie. Speaking of chase sequences, before we finish, we're going inside the Millennium Falcon. Smugglers Run, the ride. You're going to be able to ride it. All that we're missing right now is a Wookiee. Hey, speaking of a Wookiee, coming up next, Jonas, the guy inside, the guy that is Chewbacca, our guest, as this half-hour special of all things Galaxy's Edge continues.
I got a feeling about this, and it's good. All right, baby. Stay together. You ready to do this? Are you as excited as I am? Am I getting on your nerves by now? All right.
This thing is amazing. It's really something that you couldn't even dream about 20 years ago. So I hope you enjoy it. It was a great experience for me, and I think that you'll change your life.
Welcome back to Extra Butter. It is our special dedicated to all things Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And I keep telling you, I promise not to cry, but I'm going to be crying awesome. I'm a little overwhelmed. I am deep in the heart of the Millennium Falcon. This is the main holding area. I could be playing hollow chess right now if only I had Chewbacca or a Wookiee or somebody.
I guess I'll have to destroy that little guy. Somehow I never get bored with winning. You can't wipe them off. They're holograms.
But I don't. You know, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Peter Mayhew. I had a chance to sit down with him back in the day when he was originating Chewbacca. And then later on, got to hang out with Jonas. Jonas is your new Chewbacca. So what does it take to be Chewbacca? We talked. Take a look. Nice to see you again.
Good.
It's been, what, 2 hours since we left the party?
Exactly, but I've missed you, man.
I missed you too, man. I've got to talk to you about how surreal it is. And I know, like, the press, we're tiny cogs in this machine, but, like, when I was a 12-year-old, I used to get beat up for bringing my Star Wars toys to school. Now you're championed if you have Star Wars toys. And so to be at the premiere and I'm hanging out with Chewbacca, we're pretty much closing the party down. I thought, you've come a long way, kid.
It's a fantastic time to be a Star Wars fan, and I think I'm hoping Star Wars is bringing this hope to the world, and I'm hoping we're doing some good at the same time, as well as enjoying the fantastical journey that these movies offer. And
is this beyond the scope of anything you could have comprehended, or was there a moment in time as a kid you started to shoot up, you were getting a little bit taller than some of the others, and you thought, man, I could be Chewbacca someday?
Well, I've always considered myself to be relatively the same. I've always been very excited about every new thing, and really eager to learn new things, and I think now that I'm here, I feel so grateful that I want to do the best job I can, because I'm a fan myself, and I don't want to let myself or the fans that have watched Star Wars for however many years. I don't want to let anybody down, and it's such an honor to be doing this role.
I've had a pleasure to talk to Alden several times throughout this journey for him, and I said, when you're deeply embedded in this and you're a whole career past this on other movies, what's going to be the moment you remember? And he always says, my screen test with Chewbacca. It was the best day of my life.
Oh wow, I remember that day. It was I saw this guy comes in. I was about to say this kid, but I'm not 190 years old.
When do you know how to fly? 190 years old?
But he came in, and he was just he's told me he was a little bit jet lagged, and also I think he was a little bit because I was still practicing my Wookiee English, so I was doing all the lines in Wookiee muffled kind of, but you are so mean to me, and it was like this kind of a very elaborate dialogue scene between the Wookiee and Han, and they're arguing, and it was a great scene, and there was something about him that I knew. I think we found our guy. I was thinking.
Well, congratulations on this. I look forward to talking to you. I talked to Peter Mayhew many times throughout his career. I can't wait to this journey with you. Yeah, I don't know how that guy got the part, with the exception of the fact that he is really like 9 feet tall. All right, what can I tell you about this area? Nothing, because I'm not the expert. So I'm going to call in Catherine. Catherine, if you would, introduce yourself. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So explain what you do and how you came to make all this happen.
Yes, my name is Catherine Yancey, and I am a show mechanical engineer. And what that means is I work on the audio animatronic figures within Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run.
The sound, the visuals, all of it.
All of it, the mechanical design, working with Lucasfilm in order to define the character and bring Hondo Ohnaka from the Clone Wars to life.
And explain to people who don't geek out like I do, what is Hondo?
Hello, my friends. I am Hondo Ohnaka, and this is Ohnaka Transport Solutions.
Hondo Ohnaka is a beloved character from the Clone Wars TV show, and he is a smuggler or pirate. He's just a little shady, and now he has taken over the Millennium Falcon to help out repairing some damage that Chewbacca might have occurred.
Do you find that no matter who you're talking to, they get geeked out and distracted? Because I'm in the Millennium Falcon right now.
I honestly have to pinch myself sometimes.
Every detail, just like that hunk of junk, stuff can go wrong even on this Millennium Falcon.
Oh yes, it definitely can. Oh no.
It's going wrong now!
Hurry, go!
Save yourself! I'll do something over there! I gotta go check this out! When Extra Butter returns, more behind the scenes of Galaxy. This button, or behind the scenes of Galaxy's Edge when we come back. Oh, that was a close call. I need some of that blue drink.
You know, Star Wars for me has always been the gift that keeps on giving, and the reason is because of you. Your parents tell you not to speak to strangers, and everywhere I go, people treat me like I'm family. And the stories they tell me, they're personal stories of seeing Star Wars or reading the books or playing the games or watching the animated series, whatever it is. They're so personal and so heartfelt. It got me through troubled times. You know, I was going through a terrible breakup. My mother was sick. I met my spouse online. The stories they tell me are so heartfelt, and I can't tell you how grateful I am to have been a part of it, to be associated with a character that represents optimism and hope.
Welcome to Extra Butter and our special dedicated to all things Star Wars Galaxy Edge at Disneyland. This is kind of awesome. I'm in Ronto Roaster. Oh, by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you we're on the planet Batuu. We're at Ronto Roaster, just hanging out with my friend 8. He's a smelting droid, getting some smelting done. I've run out of anything that I have any knowledge about, so let's go meet the expert. This gentleman is the culinary director of Ronto Roaster.
Bright Suns.
And if I'm not mistaken, we got a Ronto in the house. That is Ronto.
We are roasting Rontos. What else would you do with the spare pod racer engine?
You're right. Good point. I'm so geeked out. Like, is there any level of detail that's missing in this place?
We're doing some great storytelling here, and it doesn't land just on the attractions. It lands also with our food.
What's this?
So this is what we offer here at Ronto Roaster. It's the Ronto Wrap.
Of course.
This Ronto Wrap is filled with a grilled fragrant sausage, topped with a spicy sweet slaw, the clutch sauce, which tops it off, and then you have this warm bread.
You had me at fragrant.
Yes.
May I?
Yes, please.
What else you got while I chew?
Okay, so Katsaka's Kettle has brought unique ingredients across the galaxy. Right, yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh my God.
We've noticed that this is what referred to off-planet as popcorn. These popped kernels are sweet and spicy.
Butter right now. Is there a Star Wars universe equivalent of butter?
I'll have to leave that to the elders.
You know, John, if only thing I had something to wash the Batuu down with, that would...
Well, no journey would be complete without the famous blue milk.
You know, the first time we saw this blue milk, you know who was hanging out? Luke Skywalker's aunt was pouring up a nice picture of it. I sat down with Luke Skywalker to talk about those origins. Take a look. Hey, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I should start this interview by saying this interview is going to pretty much be an essay, what Mark Hamill means to me.
Oh.
All right, the very first time I talked to you was for a Kevin Smith movie, and I walked in and you said, oh my God, it's the guy from Short Attention Span Theater on Comedy Central. And I thought, Jesus Christ, Luke Skywalker knows me.
That's
he knows
right.
me.
What a great concept, because you're talking to someone with a short attention span.
Oh, good.
And it gets worse with age. You know, I really enjoyed what you did.
Well, my kids will tell you that if I get hit by a bus, one of my kids at my eulogy will say,
Mark Hamill once said that he watched his show on Comedy Central. He had a fulfilled life.
Wow, I'm honored.
How about you? Is this a fulfilled life, coming back to this after all these years?
Well, it was a total shock, I thought. I mean, even if they did 7 and 8, they'd all have all new characters. And then George told me that he was getting tired of it and he didn't want to be doing these films in the 70s. So he told me flat out, well, I'm not doing 7, 8, and 9. Then when he asked to meet with us, we knew something was up. And I said to Mary, my wife said, what if he wants to do new trilogies? And I just laughed. I said, honey, he specifically said, no, he's not going to do that. And he was right. He's not going to do that, but we didn't know he was going to tell us that he was turning it over to Kathy Kennedy and that she would be doing that. He said, if you don't want to come back, we won't kill your character off. No, we won't recast your character. Right. We'll just write you out. So I was so intimidated. I knew I had to do it, but I thought, ooh, we had a perfect beginning, a middle, and end. Yeah. Fans can be really hypercritical.
Let's not screw it up.
Yeah. So it was intimidating to say the least. Because when we did the originals, nobody cared. It was just a goofy space movie. The first one cost $9 million, all right? Yeah. All the President's Men cost more than that. They came out the same year because they had big stars, they had to pay for the property, they had a star director. George called Star Wars the most expensive, low-budget movie ever made.
So things didn't work out so well on Tatooine. Where's this from?
Bubawamba Family Farms, locally sourced.
They're the best. Brain freeze, but that is awesome. That is phenomenal. So once again, to find you, where do we go?
We're here at Black Spire Outpost. We're at Ronto Roaster, or you can head over to Katsaka's Kettle, or head over to the Bubawamba Family Farms.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah. I'm gonna have some more. John, thank you very much.
Good journey.
All right, when we come back, let's keep the party going. John Boyega, our guest, is our Extra Butter tribute to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge continues. Down the hatchet if you got it. Welcome back. It is Extra Butter, dedicating all things to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the newest and biggest expanse in the history of Disneyland. Those are the droids I'm looking for. What's that you say? Wrap it up and toss to John Boyega? Oh, sure. John Boyega, something to look forward with him. Big part in Episode 9. Want to know what he does? I'm not going to plot spoil here. That's my way of playing off the fact that I don't know, but I do know I sat down with him to talk about 8. Take a look. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, mate.
Another time around.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's different about how does it feel different this time around?
We have more of a sense of the system. Like we know that press is coming up. We know the energy of a premiere, but it still scares you to a certain extent. I can't lie. It still makes you go, whew, okay.
Someone in the industry had told you before, make sure you shore up your relationships, make sure you find the love of your life before the last movie is unleashed. And that didn't quite happen. You were on a date one time and someone said, so what do you do for a living?
Look, man, you lose one, and you win some, and it's just a working life of a man and of growth. So it is what it is.
Right.
I'm still 25.
You got time on your hands.
I think I've got a little bit of time. I'm getting there. I'm getting on.
I mean, look at how old I am. You could have lived 2 lifetimes by now if you were me, pretty much.
Lord.
So what was the first time you were out and about and someone saw maybe some merchandise or a magazine on the shelf and said,
I can't remember. I've really been blessed in terms of moving around. I think just sometimes people don't make the connection, or they don't watch Star Wars, or they just don't believe that a Star Wars character would be, in an off license at 2 a.m.
Are there any things you share in common with your character? Are there moments that your character makes a decision where you go, yeah, I do the same thing?
Pretty much everything. I think we all give ourselves too much, credit sometimes in terms of being a hero.
Right.
Whereas, I would definitely want to escape from an organization like the First Order, and I'd want to be with people that are much more. Yeah. I'd want to be with people that are much more cool.
I don't want to give away too much about the plot, but just in terms of look, are there some scenes that you shot and you thought, man, I can't wait to see this scene in The Last Jedi, and you saw it last night and it paid off?
I think definitely is the speeder sequence on that planet with the red crystals coming out of the ground. That sequence is bad in a good way.
It sets the new standard for action sequences, I think.
It's incredible. You watch the screen like you're really moving through that. It just takes you through it, man. It's nice,
right.
Emotional.
What did Star Wars mean? I didn't ask this the last time around, but I always wanted to ask, were you geeked out about the last Star Wars? Were you a part of the cult before you got called into the cult?
My first reveal to Star Wars was the merchandise. I got a Darth Maul action figure with the double blades.
Right.
And after that, I just started getting into these comics and then the video games, Force Unleashed and all those things. And then I was a fan, so before then I was already into it, and still now hasn't left me.
Do you still have that original action figure that you had that time around?
No, I don't. My mum put them in a box and threw them away.
Do you have cousins, friends, family members that you haven't heard of from years calling you trying to get merchandise now?
Yeah, there's no way they can get my number, bro.
That is
they can't track me like that.
You've got layers.
No.
Good to see you again.
Right. Good to see you, man.
John Boyega flew back to Pinewood Studios to reshoot some scenes for Star Wars Episode 9. Want to know why? I don't know, but it's kind of cool. They wanted to insert something. We'll only have to find out whenever it opens in December in theaters everywhere. Where are you going to be? Hopefully headed to this Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's not all about droids and spaceships and Jedis. It's also about the ladies who have saved Star Wars. The Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, Felicity Jones, Emilia Clarke, and the rest coming up next. Dedicating all things to Star Wars, specifically Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, hanging out here at Disney's newest resort. Yes, I'm coming out of the bathroom. I can't show you in here because there are people actually enjoying the bathroom, but everything is crazy Star Wars theme. Forget about the men's room. Let's talk about the ladies. Not specifically you, but the ladies of Star Wars. It all started out with a very strong Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, Felicity Jones. I had a chance to sit down with her and talk about all things Rogue One. Take a look.
All right, I have a confession to make. I've been feeling really guilty for a few weeks now. I completely hijacked an Inferno interview with you just to talk about Star Wars. One of my first missions for the current job that I'm doing was to go to Pinewood Studios and peek over the fence to see how the reshoots were going for Rogue One. What was going on the other side of the fence?
Oh God, we had so much fun on Rogue One. It was one of those life-changing experiences where one day you're kind of with a giant monkey who's shooting at you, and then the next day you're talking to a many-tentacled creature who speaks in a strange Star Warsian language. It was great fun to work on. That's
So
fine.
you want to just forget this and talk Inferno instead?
Yeah, let's just switch around.
No?
Why not? Why
Okay.
not?
All
I
right.
feel like I've been doing an extensive press junket for Star Wars for about a year, because anytime I do anything, people just want to know about Star Wars. So it's fine.
Right, well, I told Diego, I said, you really, once you get cast, you can't tell anyone. It's like winning the lottery. They tell you when you win the lottery, don't tell anyone.
Exactly. And so when you get an opportunity to talk about it, you just end up over-talking and saying too much.
No doubt you were probably a Star Wars fan before, but regardless, do you feel like you're held to a higher level or higher expectation? People have questions for you that maybe you don't live in the universe as much as they want you to live in?
Well, what's lovely is you kind of get the same question, but in different versions. So basically everyone's just like, so what's it like being in Star Wars?
Right.
Like, you're in Star Wars. How does it feel? And you kind of, I think there's just such excitement about it that actually it's kind of just about sharing in that and enjoying it. And obviously we speak about it so much that it's really nice when you get someone who's genuinely excited about it, and it
Right.
kind of reminds you of how special it is to be in something like this.
My inner core of friends, I don't have to explain to them that this is a sidebar story to the original storyline, but then people that are outside of that realm, it takes a little bit more explaining. Do you have someone like a grandma that you said, no, Grandma, there won't be Wookiees. No, there's no, Han Solo's not in this one.
I get a lot of, oh, I'm so excited, you're in Star Trek. I'm like,
Oh,
great.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's that whole
I get
level.
a lot of Star Trek. And then they go, oh, no, it's not that one. No, the other one, the Wars. The Wars want that one.
Absolutely.
So that's the main confusion that I'm finding.
And say what you will, this may be sci-fi, but this character, drop this character into any movie, and just a tremendous character. This isn't just a great Star Wars movie, it's a great movie with great characters.
It is, and it has a very simple story that is, we watched the film a couple of nights ago, and it is beautifully told. It's absolutely, you kind of just can't, you're sort of on the edge of your seat as you're watching it. And it's very much about this group of outsiders. You know, they all speak completely different languages, they're from completely different backgrounds, and they're all a little bit lost. And it's when they come together and they find each other that it's you know, true to Star Wars, it is a love story, but it's a love story about friendship, ultimately.
And Jen Ursa, do you share anything with her? Is there anything that you know you have in common with her?
Hate her, can't stand her.
Oh, is that
don't
true?
like
Oh, that's
anything
horrible.
about her.
Okay, then let's go back to talking about Inferno. Oh, time's up? Time's up.
So, if you've seen Rogue One, you know why Felicity may have squirmed a little bit when I said, so is there going to be a sequel? Because, you know what I'd like to see a sequel of? Solo. I would love to see Alden Ehrenreich's Solo paired once again with Emilia Clarke. I thought she did a phenomenal job, and we talked. Take a look.
I've been having a lot of conversations with the 12-year-old version of me saying, hey, it's fine that you get the shit kicked out of you because you bring your Star Wars toys to school, because someday you're going to be hanging out with the people making it happen.
Thanks.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back and have conversations with a younger version of you, or maybe you were a struggling actor, and say, hey, don't worry, someday you're going to be in charge of not one, but several different properties that pretty much encapsulate the entire pop culture universe?
No.
Okay. All right. Good then.
I don't do that.
I do.
You do?
Yeah,
How
I
do.
do.
You travel back in time?
Travel back in time mentally,
Oh, yeah.
and also,
Oh,
yeah, no, it's just for me. My big brother is you know, if he thinks it's cool what I'm doing, still at this age, then I'm cool.
That's the
and this is
barometer.
pretty. I don't know who screamed louder when I got this job, me or him.
Oh, okay,
so
good.
yeah, but it's good. We're good.
All right, if you contained your inner joy, is there someone that you called that, you know, couldn't contain themselves that you got to be a part of Star Wars?
I think that was you. Wasn't it?
Oh my God, no! I begged to get the job. You know, I was texting Ron to get this job. So no, it was amazing. I might lie and say Cassavetes is the reason I want to become an actor, but it's not. It's Star Wars. 1977 changed everything for me. I remember everything about it. I remember I went to see it twice in the first week, and it was a miserable grey. I can't describe how grey London was in the 1970s for some reason. It was just like black and white, and I was just transported into another universe by these movies, and I will forever be grateful for that. And I think that's when I probably decided, very instrumental in me deciding that I don't know what that is, but I want to be a part of. I want to do that. And then 40 years later to get to be in one of them is really a dream come true.
What's the most surreal moment that you'll remember 10, 20 movies from now on the set? Where I know much of this is post-production and visual effects, but there have to be practical moments where you're surrounded.
There isn't
They're
much.
not on Star Wars. I always say Game of Thrones, we got so much, and we got green, and we got dragons, but Star Wars has a little bit more. And you're acting with real creatures. The creatures in the Star Wars universe are mind-blowing. You're walking down the corridor, and you're like, what's up, monster? How you doing? Oh, my God. It's like they're really there. And you don't see the puppeteers, the 7 puppeteers who are controlling all the animatronics that go into the face that is looking at you with so many complex expressions going on, almost as mental as my eyebrows. And it's all there.
Well, nothing's that mental.
No, that's true.
But even when you're on the ship, it's not a green screen. It's a psychorama that moves with mountains and
they made it easy for us.
Animals that float. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really.
It's like big. I brought my friends onto one of the sets, and they walked in, and they were like, "We're in Disney World."
Yeah, it was amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, there could be a sequel of her character. Not so much from Game of Thrones, but maybe a sequel of her character in this. I wonder which one of these. If you push this, by the way, it flushes everybody at the same time. Here we go! Light speed! When we come back from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, we're going to go deeper inside that park. Millennium Falcon, Smugglers Run. We're going on it in moments. Welcome back to Extra Butter and our special dedicated to all things Disneyland, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. I'm gonna do this every time we come back from commercial break. I'm weeping openly because check it out. They got merchandise in the marketplace. You can hang out and buy stuff. What I'm wearing, not a costume. This, all authentic Jedi wear. They have everything from adult stuff, they've got kid stuff. It's truly remarkable. I might try one on right now while you watch this interview. I had a chance to go behind the scenes of the last movie and sit down with Kelly Tran. If you don't know her by name, you definitely know Rose Tico. Take a look. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I'm so geeked out to be here right now.
Thanks. Is this a Han Solo kind of homage?
Oh my God! There's so many people. I consulted, but I never consult people about what to wear in these things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to throw something together that's kind of Star Wars.
I like that it's not super Han, but kind of a little bit. It's like a hint. You know what I mean?
Someone who knows gets it.
I love it.
Thank you. I'm excited to meet you because you probably are the best throwback to the original Star Wars that I saw when I was a kid. Your character in this movie, she's an unlikely hero,
Totally.
like Luke Skywalker was.
Yeah, totally. So my character's name is Rose, and like you said, she's someone who is not. I don't think she's very. She just is someone who works in the background, and she's not someone who is born into a place of privilege or is quote-unquote special in any way. She's someone who works behind pipes and is fixing ships for all of the star pilots that are in the Resistance.
Right. Doesn't plan on being on the front line.
No, not at all. So it's pretty incredible to kind of, hopefully, for you to see her go through this journey and get pulled into the action and see how she deals with it.
Is it true that you had to lie to your family for months about this gig?
Yeah, I lied to my family. I told them I was in Canada for an indie movie. I sent them maple syrup. I sent them photos.
To prove you're in Canada.
Yeah, I sent them I Googled photos of street views in Canada.
Right. Well, how was the big reveal? Grandma, I've got something to tell you.
It was great. They were in shock. I think they're still in shock because it's such. Star Wars is something that's so much bigger than any of us, you know? And I think that I'm excited for my family to see the movie, but I think they're all really in shock by the whole experience.
I saw you at a convention see for the very first time
Did you?
behind the scenes images of this, and you were kind of geeking out like you weren't there, but you were there while these images were being captured.
I know. It's crazy to think about. I've been crying watching some of the footage come out because it's so weird. And it's just, I don't believe it, you know? And it's you work so long for something and then it's happening and it's you can't register it. It's so crazy.
Well, you deserve every bit of it.
Thank
May
you
the force
so
be
much.
with you always.
You too.
How awesome is Kelly Tran? Enthusiastic, gracious, and are you going to see her in episode 9? I don't want to plot spoil, but yes, you are. She's pretty awesome in that. Hey, it's Brad. What's going on, Brad? Brad, where are we and what is all this coolness?
Well, we're right now in the middle of Black Spire Outpost, the marketplace. This is the Toydarian toy maker. Our toy maker is handcrafted toys.
I was going to say, it's all kind of artisan
Yeah,
stuff.
all out of characters that you probably know from our stories. Yoda, Princess Leia.
Soft I am. Look, it's a hollow chess set, but it's handcrafted.
Yes, handcrafted Dejarik chess. You can play it right like you see it. You can flip it over, play some checkers.
Oh my gosh. Tell me about it.
The game of Sabacc, I've been told the Millennium Falcon actually traded hands over a game of Sabacc. So it seems like a card game you want to know how to play.
All right, we got to walk and talk because I see stuff over here that's pretty amazing.
You must see our weirdest, wildest pet shop.
Yes, I apologize, but there's critters and they're moving. What is that?
That is a Kowakian monkey lizard.
It's for sale?
Kowakian monkey lizard up for adoption.
And where are we right now?
We're in the middle of the creature stall, so this is a pet shop. Everything here has some kind of feature. Do you know loth cats?
No kidding.
Yeah, they're actually pretty cute creatures. You can pet them. You squeeze their tail.
Yeah.
They can get a little fierce, and they are hunters, so don't mess with them.
And always ask permission first before you do any of that. Brad, this is truly amazing stuff. All right, can we stick around and look at some more stuff?
Have some fun.
All right, when we come back to the Millennium Falcon stuff, the Millennium Falcon would be nothing if not for Lando, and we're going to go behind the scenes with the new voice and face of Lando.
You might want to buckle up, baby.
In the meantime, Extra Butter will be right back. All right, Monkey Lizard Thing, take us out. We'll be right back after this.
It's been almost 40 years since the last time I played Lando. People keep asking me, how did I find Lando again? Well, Lando never left me. Being involved with the Star Wars has been incredibly rewarding to me. And certainly working with and being hired by this wonderful man was a very special part of my life. And thank you so much. And happy birthday. As you probably know, I was the original owner of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Give it up.
Welcome back to Extra Butter and our special dedicated to all things Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I've never been more geeked out because in moments I'm going to be stepping onto the Millennium Falcon, probably the fulfillment of
We've got eyes on you.
But where'd you come from? I was just walking in from over there.
Sorry, we're on sector recon.
I don't even know what that means, but I do know that the Millennium Falcon would be nothing without Lando. Lando now played, of course, by Donald Glover. I had a chance to sit down with Lando and Phoebe. Do you guys know Phoebe?
Nope.
I'm not exactly who she is either, but I know she becomes a droid. Take a look. I wish I had a team of people to make me look good. There aren't enough people that would fit in this room to make me look good. The attention is on the right side.
You've done an excellent
Look at your leather
job
jacket over there. It's stunning on us.
Oh, for the love of God. You guys look wonderful. And your suit, if you stare at it the right way, it kind of looks like you're going into hyperspace.
Oh, this?
A little bit.
That was the point.
Yeah. You guys, congratulations on this movie.
Thank you.
Neither of you are rookies. You have a tremendous body of work, but what does it mean to you to be in this movie?
It's just a different realm of excitement.
Right?
Yeah, it's just so huge, and like the passion that people feel for it, and the responsibility to make sure you give so much heart and everything you've got to be in it. It was a brilliant challenge being able to play this character. It's just you never really get a chance to do anything like this outside of the Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm never gonna be a part of anything as big as this. I think.
Never say never, but at the same time, isn't it hard to imagine?
Isn't anything
they're
bigger
really
than this.
yeah. It's just something generational that everybody and new on some where it's like it's a whole. It's hard to be part of a universe that people have invested as much into. Like I've said before, it's like being part of the Bible,
right?
Where it's like people really invest that much into it, and I've known it since I was a kid. It's just in the ethos. People know, like people reference it. Like how often do people reference something that someone just made up a couple years, like in the 70s?
Yeah.
You know, like it's really cool.
So your pops, he was the first person you called when you got the gig, right?
Yeah.
What'd he say? How'd that go down?
He was just kind of speechless. He couldn't believe it. It was just, I had to tell him, just because he was the one that introduced me, and Lando wasn't the first toy I ever had. So he was kind of speechless. He was like, this is incredible. Like, how are they even going to? I think it was just he was like, how are they even going to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
And for you, I love that we have a woman droid, a feminine droid. I mean, the last time this happened, it was probably Joan Rivers in Spaceballs. I don't think that did women justice.
That is what I base my performance on.
But I love, what a great opportunity to propel feminist ideas through a robot.
Yeah. Well, and what's so brilliant about her is that it's not, as with all the best female characters that arrive, that she's not defined by that. She just is one, she's just she just happens to be one, but it's still, a fascinating and brilliant and hilarious character.
I don't want to plot spoil, but I'd like to see more of her. I'd like to see this Landau movie, so you two, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Papa's got to be proud. Hey, I'm joined now by Margaret. Margaret, if you would tell us your title, what do you do?
I am Margaret Carrison. I am Managing Story Editor at Walt Disney Imagineering.
And no small feat. Like any Star Wars movie, Galaxy's Edge has to have its own story.
Oh, yes, definitely. We worked very closely with Lucasfilm to ensure that the stories that we're telling is connected to the rest of the galaxy. So all these characters, familiar and new, and also you're going to get to meet at Black Spire Outpost.
Can you give us a hint of what this story is? Like, where do we land? What planet are we on?
So we are on the planet Batuu,
okay.
And this was a planet that has a lot of crossroads trading. So there were a lot of traders and adventurers who came here before, but with the advent of hyperspace, all the traffic kind of went to other places, you know. So this planet invited those shadier characters, which are the scoundrels, and the smugglers, and the traitors, and the rogue adventurers. They've come here to hide away from the authority, from the watchful eye of the First Order. So
how come you say scoundrel and every crew person, they just started pointing at me? What? Yeah, I got a question for you. Do you have some kind of Jedi mind meld? I noticed the moment you walked up, they took like a 10-foot step back.
Oh yeah, they're used to us over here, you know. So when we walk around here, they know us, they recognize us now. So they do move back for us.
All right, what should we know about Smugglers Run?
Oh my gosh, Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run is a really, really epic attraction that we have. And this was one of the things that we knew at the very, very beginning. We have to take the controls of the Millennium Falcon so we can feel like that we're actually taking controls and flying through the galaxy on this very iconic ship.
Can I check it out?
Yes, you can.
Hey fellas, Margaret said I could check it out. She's in charge. Coming up next on Extra Butter, I'm going on it. Millennium Falcon, Smugglers Run, next on Extra Butter. Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you so
no,
much.
thanks to you too.
Can you help us out with this thing? I'll give it a try, Bob. Peter? This one's for you!
Oh well. Hey guys, welcome back to Extra Butter and our special dedicated to all things Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We are in the Millennium Falcon in the cockpit right now. You're going to experience the ride before anybody else. I'm ready to do it if you're ready to do it. Here we go! What do I do?
You got it, Mark. Just you're controlling.
This is crazy!
Nice and easy, sir. All right. All right, we're gonna fly out.
We're actually controlling. Did I do that or did you do that?
100% you.
Pull up! Pull up!
Yeah.
I think I'm getting the hang of it now.
All right.
This is nuts!
It's amazing. Hit the buttons.
Do we have a Wookiee? There's no Wookiee!
All right, light speed. You got it, brother. Go, pull. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, and we did it. Pardon me if I forget to talk. This is the most dynamic, engaging ride I've ever experienced. Now open to you. I highly recommend it. Ross, you designed some of this?
Absolutely. Part of the team.
How long does it take to do the Kessel Run? Or how far is the Kessel Run?
4 or 6 seconds. We got this. Well done,
Hold
guys.
together, baby.
All right,
got that, baby. Hold together. I thought you'd say that.
Shoot. All right, hit the button. All right. Brakes. Got it. Good job, Marty. You got it.
We narrowly escaped disaster. That wraps up this Extra Butter. For more Star Wars Galaxy Edge, go to our Facebook page or YouTube. Woo!
Awesome.